Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hi, guys.
Welcome to Geeking Poetic Podcast here with a new episode of Geeking Toyetic.
Why am I here?
I was just going to say, usually I'm doing this all by my lonesome, but today we have, who do we have?
We have Megan Guess.
We have Megan Guess with us. Yeah, so this is kind of, I'm just going to jump right into it. We were talking about stuff lately, and I as much as I love doing Geeking Toyetic on my own, and, you know, because I am definitely the biggest geek when it comes to talking toys and everything on this channel. You do collect
I
stuff.
do some collecting.
You do a pretty fair amount of it, actually. Matt collects. We have a bunch of other friends and friends from other podcasts and stuff that collect. And I said, man, let's just start doing this as a full show. I don't want this to just be about me. There might be some episodes in the future where it's just me, but I'd like to start getting more people involved. And you got some really cool stuff recently.
I did. It was my birthday.
It was your birthday. And
I got spoiled.
and I thought it would be awesome for you to show off some of the cool new stuff you got, because it definitely applies. It's very geeky.
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
And so with that, we decided, you know, especially since this is May, the month of May, and we had announced not too long ago that with May, we were going to try to do some Star Wars specific content.
We are. I'm excited to finally do some Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Exactly. Because as much as we're like Star Wars fans and it gets mentioned a lot, we really don't do a lot of Star Wars focused stuff.
But we are this month.
But this month we are, yeah. So we're going to, just recently they had Star Wars Celebration over in Europe and stuff, and a lot of new toys and things were revealed there. Also, because it's May, there's a bunch of new toys that just got released or pre-released, you know, a lot of new pre-sales that happened around May the 4th and, you know, Revenge of the 5th and all that business. So I thought it would be cool to talk about some of that stuff today, and to also concurrently show off some of the new stuff we got, because with that, a lot of things that I've had on order for ages now, and I was like, when is this finally going to come? Well, they waited until this month to finally put it out.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because I ordered some of this stuff like so long ago too. It's pretty funny. Anyway, so with that, what do you think we should get into first?
Why don't you tell them some of the news?
Yeah, okay. Hang on, I'm going to spit my gum out so I don't go have gum spitting out at you. It'd be like 3D vision and everything. Although some of you aren't going to be watching this, you might just be listening to this, I suppose.
But hear it hit the ground then.
Yeah.
Still disturbing either way.
Yeah, exactly. So there we go. No more gum. Anyway, all right. Yeah, getting into the news. So there was a ton of new Star Wars stuff that got announced at the celebration, and oh my gosh, there's so much, literally a staggering amount of stuff. And there's a lot of it they didn't even provide photos of. Some of it they just kind of announced. That's what, you know, pipeline reveals and stuff, things that'll be coming out later. And some of it they had photos of. I grabbed some photos of some of the things that I thought were particularly cool, stuff that appealed to me, and especially since I tend to focus mostly on, I was going to say Black Series and Vintage Collection as well as Retro Collection, but anymore, man, I really don't buy that much Black Series stuff. People that watched old episodes of Toyetic will be like, find that really surprising.
All you did for a while.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of Black Series content, but man, there's so much of it. It's so expensive. You've seen, you know, I know.
Oh, yeah, they're very expensive.
Yeah, you've told me when you've been to the store, you're like,
They add up very quickly.
Right, yeah, you know, because she'll go to the store and tell me about stuff and be like, hey, they got these new figures and everything, but wow, they're like $25 a piece now, or sometimes more than that. I just can't do it anymore. I've got I have so many. I have so many.
It's ludicrous, guys. It's an insane amount of toys.
Yeah, and
specifically Star Wars Black Series. So
yeah, and I really don't have the room for new stuff anymore, which is a problem because there is new stuff that I want to get, that I intend on getting, but I don't know where I'm going to put it. I've been seriously thinking about like, well, is there things I can like get rid of? There might be some things I trade off because I'm not into the whole toy selling thing. That's one thing I'll tell you right now. Like I've talked about it before. I collect stuff mainly in the boxes, in the packaging, although there's some stuff I do open, but a lot of people criticize that and say, oh, toys are meant to be open. Well, I do generally agree with that in a lot of cases, but I love the packaging.
I was going to say, everybody's to their own. If you enjoy it from the packaging, then so be it. Exactly.
But I know there's a lot of people that the reason they keep it in the packaging is because they want to sell it. Their plan is
that's
like,
not you at all.
And that's not me. I don't give a good goddamn about how much something is worth, vintage or modern. Like I don't care about worth. I don't buy something because it's going to be worth money if I resell it. I have no interest in that whatsoever. I just get things that I like, and if it costs me $1 or it costs me $100, whatever, I got it because I really, really like it.
And we had a comment. He buys two. They buy two and open one.
Yeah.
You do that too. You're like, I need another one so I can open it. I want to play with this one.
Certain ones I do. Yeah. And we'll get into that because some of the toys we're going to show in a little bit, I did that. There's certain ones that I'll do that. And when I can afford it. And again, that's the problem with the Black Series. Getting back to that is just like, I can't do that anymore, man. I can't afford one of them, much less two, So yeah. So, and even that, even just having display space for the loose toys, the toys that I open, because it's a little easier when it's like boxed or carded figures and vehicles because you can hang them. That's what I do. One of these days, I'm gonna do a video where I show you guys all of
from your toy room.
Yeah, from my toy rooms, because it's multiple. It's ridiculous. I'm able to sort of do it store style where I have things hanging and they're there's like racks of figures and stuff. If I open the toys, I can't do that. They have to be all spread out. Mm-hmm. And if you do that, you want them to look really cool. And I have very limited space for that. Right now, I'm working on that though, especially for the downstairs room. But I have very limited space. So right now, there's actually a lot of toys I have that I fully intend on opening. And I just haven't opened yet because I don't have the space for it. But in any case,
back to the Black Series.
Yeah,
they announced a whole bunch of them.
They did. They announced. There's a bunch of new ones that they announced, but I just want to show some of the ones that I, in particular, thought were cool and ones that are available for order now or about now. One of the things that they showed that I thought was really cool is they showed that they're coming out with more of the Bad Batch Black Series figures, and there's one that is a Walmart exclusive that I think looks great, and it is this Clone Commander. Hopefully you could see that there on the screen if you're watching. I love the clones. I love the troopers. I get addicted to those, man. As much as I like all the other characters and stuff, I really love these. So this Clone Commander is available to order now on Walmart. It's an exclusive there. And I think they just announced, I think it just went live like on the 4th or the 5th or something like that. So hopefully it's still in stock for you to order if you're interested. But if you're interested in that figure, I definitely suggest you hightail it over to walmart.com right now and check that out. Man, in addition to that, oh boy, let me see, I'm looking at the list right now. There's so much stuff that they revealed. For more Black Series stuff, they're going to do more of the holiday themed figures.
They're so silly.
And it really makes me wonder. I mean, obviously they sell because they wouldn't keep doing it. They've been doing this for multiple years now.
Have they? Okay.
But they obviously sell because I don't understand why they would keep putting in orders for it and stuff. But yeah, they're coming out with more of those holiday figures. So, you know, that's a very polarizing thing. There's three things in Star Wars collecting with figures right now that's super polarizing. It's the holiday figures, the carbonized collection, where they basically re-release figures but in a more carbonized, like vac metal paint style. Some of those are really cool. I have a bunch of them, but it is getting a little excessive, and some people are starting to revolt against it. And so that and the holiday one and stuff, and then in the retro collection you have the prototype paint design, or they're not even paint designs really. It's each limb is done in a different color.
Right, it's kind of like a hodgepodge of all the leftover pieces.
Yeah, it's the whole concept behind that. I've talked about this in other episodes, and I've shown off some of the old ones. They're always a Target exclusive, which is a whole thing into itself too, the freaking Target exclusives. But it's when they make these figures, when they first mold them in the factory and they're sending them around for like test samples and stuff like that, they'll mold them in whatever plastic they have available. So most of those first shot prototypes come in like all those multiple colors, and there's some that have made it out onto the collector's market over the years, like old ones from the 70s, you know, because old like Kenner employees would keep them and then they sold them, and they're worth like tens of thousands of dollars now. So now they're doing them specifically for collectors, and I think they're cool. I really like them. I'm a sucker for anything retro collection. You know, if it's retro, I admit I pretty much love all of it. But a lot of people can't stand it, and I'm sure they're going to be doing more of that kind of stuff. But anyway, getting back to Black Series, they're also coming out with a really cool premium electronic clone trooper helmet from Ahsoka's whatever you want to call it, her group of clones that she worked with and everything, that were seen. Those were the ones that were, I know you're not that familiar with it, but they were the ones that were seen in the final season of the Clone Wars and stuff. There's also a bunch more because we just went and saw Star Wars Return of the Jedi in the theaters. It's the 40th anniversary, and there is a bunch more Star Wars ROTJ stuff coming out, and this is where it's like, oh man, this makes it hard. So they're coming out with more Black Series figures, and they're the carded Black Series figures, which I am exceptionally a sucker for.
So the Gordons specifically have mentioned that how they change over to the box style, so we can't see the figures any longer.
Right.
Are these new ones going to be in plastic again? Because they were backpedaling on that, weren't they?
Well, yeah, that's a really good question. From what I've heard and different talk that's gone on, I believe that Hasbro is now backpedaling on the whole box thing, the solid box thing, and they are going to start doing more of a probably some sort of like hodgepodge of cardboard and having a little bit more plastic there so that you can actually see the figure. I guess they figured out some kind of more eco-friendly plastic that they're going to use. I don't know why they didn't come up with that in the first place.
I was going to say, because you came up with it that quickly after your cells dropped.
It's because, they can say, oh, well, it's because we came up with this new eco-friendly plastic. It's like, no, your sales are hurting. I mean, they are. So many of us, because I was going to get into that, but I didn't get into that yet, that's another reason why I kind of decided to back off of the, well, not just Black Series, but the 6-inch Hasbro figures in general, because it's affecting G.I. Joe, Classified. It's affecting all Dungeons and Dragons, Transformers. Oh man, they put in Transformers in these solid boxes, which that's been a thing in the past too with certain lines, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, supposedly they are going to go back, but I think that we're still going to see these solid boxed Black Series figures for a while now. I don't anticipate we're going to see the change in packaging probably until at least next year, maybe at the earliest, we're going to see that.
Well.
Yeah, I don't think it's good. Everything I'm seeing coming down the pipeline now, I mean, things could change. I mean, until something actually gets manufactured and shipped and put on a shelf, things can change. But everything I'm seeing right now, all the materials that they leaked out there to the public during Celebration last month and all that stuff, or a few weeks ago, all of that stuff is showing that it's going to be the solid boxes for a while now.
That's a shame. Okay.
It is a shame, yeah. So anyway, so that's where that's at. But where it doesn't affect things, thankfully, is like what you see here on the screen. It doesn't affect these 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi figures that are coming on the cards. They're still going to have the plastic bubble. They're not going to mess with that. And they claim they're not going to mess with vintage collection, although I'm seeing more of these vintage collection figures coming out in these solid boxes. We're going to get to that too in a little bit. And I really hope they don't go too far with that, because especially for the vintage collection, man, I am not feeling solid boxes. Not feeling it. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. We're gonna get into that a little bit more here. Another cool thing that I thought was worth mentioning was that they are coming out with a 3-pack from Return of the Jedi of the Force Ghosts. So it's going to be Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Anakin Skywalker. And not only Anakin Skywalker, but it's not going to be old man Anakin. They've erased that from everything now. It is going to be the Hayden Christensen. Christensen, is that how you pronounce his name? It's Hayden's Anakin, as we saw in the revamped version of the ending of Return of the Jedi, when they're standing there as the glowing Force ghosts and everything. You know, I mean, I used to get really uppity about that change, you know, because I don't hate the prequels, but I'm not a big fan of them. There's certain aspects of it, and I wasn't a big fan of changing the originals and stuff. As years have gone by, and I've watched all these other series like Clone Wars, Rebels, we love Rebels, all that kind of stuff, and then we've had all the subsequent TV shows and movies and stuff. I've gotten over a lot of that. I'm not as much of a grumpy old man yelling at the clouds anymore about it, shaking my fist. I don't mind this, and I think that set looks really sharp. I'm really, really digging it. Yeah, so I believe that don't quote me on this, but I think that all of these are available for pre-order. If they're not available for pre-order already, I think they will be very soon. The main place you're going to want to check for these Black Series Return of the Jedi figures and stuff is you're going to want to check with Hasbro, HasbroPulse.com or whatever. That's going to be your best bet for finding these figures, I think. I didn't even really bother too much with, there's Target exclusives. Man, I got to be honest with you guys. I used to complain about the Walmart exclusives. Dude, the Walmart exclusives are easy peasy to pre-order now. They've seemed...
They get their stuff together?
Oh, well, I'm not saying that they haven't they don't still have problems with their shipping sometimes, because that was always my biggest thing with Walmart was their shipping, because I would get crushed figures in the box. The box would be fine, the figure would be crushed. How does that happen? But in terms of like getting stuff on time and, and good deals and, things being most of the time in stock, I've been, knock on wood, having better luck with Walmart. Target, oh, dude, Target, I've got things still on order from Target that I ordered like 14 months ago or something.
Wow.
I've seen people online that are like, yep, walked into Target, bought this toy, and I'm like, why are you not shipping it to me? And then on top of it, Target is also, and some of you guys might be able to attest to this, Target has been doing things where they're canceling orders.
After you waited months and months and months for it, and they're on the shelves. Yeah.
Target, and you know who else is doing this lately? That, I haven't had this happen, But I've seen other people in some of these collector groups talk about it, and I'm like, ugh, makes me nervous. Is Amazon is starting to do that too, where they're canceling people's orders on stuff.
I've had not toys so much, but I've ordered things and then later it gets canceled. I was like, then why did you even show it to me?
Exactly. Well, it's not enough product being allocated where it should have been, and I know how that stuff works, but it's bad business, and it's especially not good with collectors, because the problem is, collectors they'll abandon things, I mean, just like we're talking like with the Gordons and everything, talking about, hey, we're not collecting those 6-inch figures anymore because of the changes you made in the packaging and stuff. If you start doing things like that where we're putting our money, out there, we're going, here, take our money, we want this, and then we're waiting and things are selling out and we could have bought it through other avenues, but we didn't because we've got our pre-order in, and now you telling me all of a sudden at the 11th hour, oh, sorry, we didn't get enough of it. You're screwed. I'd
just be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm done.
That's not good. So anyway, yeah, but, real quick, I just want to read through the list because I know some of you are big, like vintage collection figure collectors like I am. Vintage collection, Moff Gerard and Nine Numb. And then they've got, another cool thing that they announced, and I know this has been up for order for a few weeks now, but I'm super excited about, is the N1 Starfighter from the Mandalorian, Mando's new ship.
Oh, really?
It's expensive. It's up there in price. You're looking at about $150, give or take, to get that thing. But it looks really, really nice. And unfortunately, that has been sort of the go-to price lately for these things. I know when the Slave 1 came out, that was going for around that much. Like, the vehicles have just gotten so pricey. The only thing I will say about that, and, hopefully that happens with this vintage collection N1 Starfighter, is that usually at some point or another, there are sales on those things. The play sets and the vehicles do end up with some sort of markdown sales thing, either through Amazon again, or even Hasbro themselves do it. I know, like, I got a bunch of the play sets, like when they came out with that Jabba's throne room play set, the dungeon thing, and that Navarro Cantina, the Bespin Cloud City play set one they came out with the freezing chamber. I didn't pay full price for any of those. Eventually, if you just keep watching, those things do get marked down. I'm really hoping that happens with the N1 Starfighter, especially when it gets close to the holidays. They usually run some sales like that. So that's what I would hope for. Anybody talking in there?
Nope, they're all pretty quiet right now.
They're like, oh, Larry's doing all the talking.
They're listening intently.
Yeah. So, man, like I said, there's all sorts of stuff coming later. More pipeline stuff for vintage collection. They're coming out with Pre-Vizsla, the Grand Inquisitor, Grand Admiral Thrawn from Rebels in vintage collection. I'm like, fucking all in. Excuse my language. All in with that. Director Krennic and a Darth Revan is in development. Darth Revan for a Revan, or however you pronounce it. I say Revan because I'm a Midwest white dude. Darth Revan is coming to vintage collection. Every one of those figures I just listed, I am all in. I want those. I really, really want those. So, yep, that's pretty exciting. And, yeah, I don't know. So the other thing, because we're going to move on, we're going to talk about some Indiana Jones in a little bit. We've got a bunch of Indiana Jones, but I'm thinking we'll kind of break it up a little bit here because I have stuff that I want to unbox that is pertinent to Star Wars. So should we just do that now? Yeah, since we're talking Star Wars. So real quick, this is not new. This is old, but just showing people. So a bunch of you probably remember, and you may have it in your collection. You might remember that about this time last year, I was harping on frantically about how excited I was that Hasbro and Disney Store were coming out with a box set of the first 6 Star Wars figures in the retro collection. Now, these were the same ones that I talked about years ago. They came out from, I think, what were they? They were Target exclusives again that year when they came out. And it's, as you can see, it is here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me know. Make sure if anything is, if you can't see it or you can't hear me, let me know in the comments, please. But as you know, this was the box set that came out, and it's got Stormtrooper, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, and Han Solo. The large head Han Solo is there, not the small head. So there's two different ones. People get very particular about this, but it's the large head Han Solo. And what this is it's just a box of, I know this is open. It's a box of the carded figures. So you can see, I open it and voila. So it's a bunch of the carded figures in there. So you see I've got Vader. We've got the farm boy Luke here. There's old boy right there. So anyway, most of you, chances are any of you that are watching this and everything, if you didn't see and hear me talk about this before, you probably have these figures. So they're not like necessarily anything fancy. They're just a re-release in a cool box of those figures that were exclusive to Target previously. But I love it. And I also got to be honest with you, the card stock on these figures compared to when they came out a couple years prior on Target, because everybody complained, you probably remember them, they're real flimsy. They would get bent and creased a lot, especially if you were trying to get them shipped and everything. These were much thicker. These are actually a lot better. And this set is still available to order on Hasbro Pulse as well as Disney Store. It was like around $60 or so, again, give or take.
Not bad for 6 figures.
No, exactly. It's, you figure altogether, $70 or something to get it shipped to you is great. Anyway, I was really excited about that. And when they came out with that, I was like, oh my God, I hope they come out with more. And they did. They did come out with more. They came out with a Retro Collection Series 2 box. And what makes this particularly cool is the 6 figures in that box were not released before. Well, unless you count 1978,
Oh, okay.
But they're retro collection, all the retro collection figures that of the original trilogy movie, with a couple of exceptions, are reproductions. They have done some new ones, like they did that Grand Moff Tarkin that came with the game, and the Luke Snowspeeder figure, and then they've done retro collection for Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, all those kind of things like that. But many of us, even the ones that, even guys like me who have all the vintage figures, I have them, and I've got multiples of them in many cases. But it's just so cool seeing those reproductions, these retro collection ones. It still brings a sense of nostalgia. And also because so many of us tend to be completists, we're like, well, you gave us the first 6, you got to at least do the original 12, right?
They are.
And so they did.
Okay.
And they didn't put them up for availability until, where is that box? Oh, it's this big. You mind getting me that big guy down there?
I can do that.
They didn't make them available to even order until May the 4th. So I was up bright and early on May the 4th, putting my order in. And I got it. So I am really eager. This is my first time seeing these in person. I've seen pictures and, YouTube videos from other channels and stuff talking about it and showing off, but this is my first time doing this myself. And here, I like to open it from the bottom just to be sure, because hopefully I got to be very careful. So I don't want to accidentally cut into anything inside the box.
Me.
I will not cut you unless you talk some smack to me, and then I cut you.
I never talk smack.
It's all you ever do to me. Okay.
I'm innocent.
All right. So I've got some crumpled up paper stuff.
Hey, they used it as packaging.
Yeah. Star Wars Retro Collection. Yep. Okay. And then a bunch of paper. And, oh, man. Yep. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I am so excited about this. You mind taking that? Thank you so much. I am so excited about this. This is super cool. All right, here we go. So we got the comments says, I was fortunate to get the retro sticker off my Tarkin figure with no problem. Yeah, man, I'll tell you, I've had different people talk about difficulty with getting those retro stickers because some people like the retro stickers. I'm kind of in the middle on them. I like the retro stickers because they remind me of the old stickers that used to come on the cards where it would be like, free with proof of purchase, order this 9 figure. And I know that's kind of how they designed it. That's basically what it looks like right there is the retro thing. They put it, but it is so big and ostentatious on the card that it is a little problematic. But anyway, as you can see, we have the second 6 of the original 12 figures from 1978 here. We have, starting over here with C-3PO, R2-D2, Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi, Death Squad Commander, otherwise known as Star Destroyer Commander. He was originally called Death Squad Commander, and then they changed it. Back in the day, they changed it to Star Destroyer Commander. I guess they thought Death Squad sounded a little too
too rough.
Yeah, a little too questionable. But then they went back to it, so I guess they just don't care anymore. Jawa, and it is the cloth hooded one, not the vinyl cape Jawa. And last but not least, the Tusken Raider. And what's and they're notating on here to show you that it's particularly cool because it's the first time that they're doing for the retro collection. They can do the VAC metallized paint jobs because I guess that was a holdup, is that they can't do VAC metallized paint jobs like they used to do on toys in the old day. There's something about what's in that dust or whatever from it that's not healthy for like workers and everything that work on it. So they figured out a way to do it. And that's exciting because that also means that if they continue on making these, they can make R5-D4, they can make Death Star Droid. There's other ones that had that. But yeah, just showing you. So it's got, that's so retro. Look at that. That looks like straight up like some you would have seen on the shelf back in 1978, 79. I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite things I've gotten in a while now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to take these figures off the card. I love the packaging. I want to keep the packaging. I am in the future going to get a second set of these, and those I'm going to take off the card. So if you're like, Larry, I want to see you take those off the card and everything when you get them, I'll do that. But for right now, I am not taking these off the card, but I am opening the box because I want to see the figures. Oh, and here it is. This is I don't know if he's my favorite, but he's one of my favorite. It is the retro Obi-Wan Kenobi, looking an awful lot like he did back in 1978. There's that big old retro sticker I was talking about. So now, if you could do me a favor, in one of these boxes, you will see there is a baggie of figures. Yeah, I think it's right there. So what I want to do here, is...
This one?
Yeah, if you want to pull him out for me.
Okay.
Like I said, now I'm, spoiler, I'm not going to uncard this guy, but I do have a vintage, very clean, very good condition Obi-Wan there. So you guys can kind of see. I mean, that's
pretty spot on.
That's pretty close. Now, when you really look at them, sorry, I'm trying to do this backwards. When you really look at them, if you have it out of the package and stuff, and when you're looking, I know it's hard to tell on the camera and everything, but when you're really looking at this,
his head looks bigger.
Yeah, you can tell that there is some size difference when you put the retro one is smaller.
Yes.
And that's because these were cast off of, they basically remolded from a figure. So anytime you do that, you're going to lose a little bit of size. You know what I mean? So for all the people that sit there and say, oh man, these retro figures, they're going to ruin the hobby and you're going to have people trying to sell fakes, you know, and honestly, first of all, I've said this a million times and I'll say it again. If you're going to go spend a bunch of money on toys of any kind, but especially vintage toys, do the research and know what you're looking for. Because if you go spend a shitload of money on vintage toys and then find out, oh, I got sold a repro because I didn't know any better, that's on you, man. In today's day and age, with all the, not only these retro collections that are coming out, but the way people are able to use 3D printers and all these other things that are happening, it's going to get harder and harder to tell the difference. So you have to educate yourself as a collector. If you're going to go out and spend money, educate yourself on what to look for. I know what to look for because I'm a dork and I educate myself on this stuff. And so if somebody was trying to sell this figure loose at a toy show or on eBay or something, I would be able to look at it and go, oh, I can tell the difference, you know? And I know that that's, plus there are, you should always ask, I don't, if it's on eBay and you're like, well, there's only so many pictures, before you spend the money and you hit that bid button, ask to see markings, because there's always like markings on the back. So there'll be markings that can, like, copyright, trademark markings and stuff. You'll be able to find them, and that will also help you to differentiate between them. But overall, like I said, looking at this, I am absolutely in love with this. Now, if people say, well, Larry, you're gushing about it, don't you have any criticisms? I do, actually. And it's not even about that big ass retro sticker. Yeah, because there's Death Squad Commander. Here is Tusken Raider. So I've got those. I've got figures of those too. Here's, so you can see, oh, put them over in the right area. I've got, is he going to stand?
Yep, he is.
You can see I've got a vintage, and I've got a vintage, there we go. Don't want to block. There we go. I've got a vintage Tusken Raider there too. And like I said, hard to tell, I know, on a computer screen or TV screen or on your phone or whatever, but they look really good, man. I think these are wonderful, and one of the main reasons I think these are so wonderful is because the truth of the matter is people have driven up prices on these vintage figures. I mean, honest to goodness, guys, if you go out on average and you try to buy this now, this Tusken Raider, he's in really good, clean shape. If you try to get this with his gaffy stick, I've got the gaffy stick in here and everything, but it's fine. You can leave it in there. But if you go out to buy this now, you're going to pay anywhere. On the low end, it's going to be $20-$30, and on the high end, it could go up closer to $100. I've seen crazy prices on that. And for most people out there, even though they are just as nostalgic as we are for this stuff, a lot of people, they can't afford that, especially when you've got kids or grandkids or all that kind of stuff. And the way things are nowadays, you cannot be going out and spending $100 on a Tusken Raider, okay? But just because you don't have $100 doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to bask in your glory of the toys that you used to have and all this kind of stuff. And if you don't have the money, does it mean you might not be able to have the real deal, quote unquote? No. But for, $12 or $15 or whatever it is, you can have this. And I mean, and this is awesome. And I don't think this is going to hurt the market at all, because I think the people that have the money and are really serious about collecting vintage stuff, they're not going to not buy or not care about the vintage stuff just because this exists. In cases like people like me, they're going to want both. I want both of them, and that's so. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way because I know there's a lot of negativity towards these retro collection figures. And showing off more, we've got, here's the Jawa. Jawa looks great. Guns right. Yep, there he is. Got, and you can see there, my old Jawa. Yeah, I mean, and like for the most part, the colors are pretty spot on, man. They're really pretty spot on. Again, you can, especially with this Jawa, I can tell he's smaller than a regular Jawa. It's probably hard for you guys to tell at home, but he's definitely smaller. So that would be something to look out for. And then the two I think most of us are really excited about would be the R2-D2 and the C-3PO. Now, this is going to get into, I was just talking about if there was anything I had to say to criticize about it and stuff.
You can't even see him down there. He's so tiny.
Yeah, he is pretty tiny. There we go. Now, here's, here. Yeah, it's,
here.
You got them backwards.
I do.
So,
Backwards.
yeah.
I'm playing with them. Don't forget me, Larry.
Well, you might, yeah. Oh, see.
I lost his leg.
I was just going to say.
I broke
so
it. This
you
is the
might,
first and last time you're going to see me on Geeking Toyetic. I done broke a toy.
and you're fired. You blew it. You had one chance and you blew it. You might be wondering why I have two C-3POs. Okay, well, anybody that remembers the vintage figures from 78 to 85 knows that there were two different C-3POs that came out. There was the regular C-3PO that was just like this. Oh, yeah, he does. He's kind of old, so his legs give out on him and everything. But anyway, so there was that guy, and then later they came out with another C-3PO. But the significance of this one is this came out after Empire Strikes Back, and what you could do with this one is you could remove the limbs. You can see.
Oh no, he's falling apart.
Yeah, well,
to pieces.
And he came with a.
Is that what this is?
Yeah, he came with a little backpack thing, the baggie.
That's awesome.
That you could put all the pieces in and then put it on Chewbacca's back, just like in Empire Strikes Back.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and it's a great figure. But here's where it gets a little convoluted, is that. And I can't show you because I'm not opening it today, but there's plenty of videos and stuff on YouTube you can check out of people talking about this and everything. This figure that's in here is the removable limb version of it.
Is it?
Which collectors are like, but that's not right. That should not be the removable limb version. That should just be the regular version, like old boy sitting down here. You know what I mean? Because his limbs they don't come off. And everything. So people are going, well, yeah, it's not technically correct then, you know. It should be it should be version 1, not version 2. Mm-hmm. How do I feel about that? Yeah, it's kind of kind of weird, kind of wonky. I think, and a lot of other people I've talked to think that they did that on purpose because I honestly think we're going to get more of these. I think we're going to see him again on the retro Empire Strikes Back card, advertising him as the backpack version of it and everything. I think they just went, well, we're just going to make him.
Just make the one and be
just
done.
Make the one, and the only difference is going to be he'll come in the new packaging and we'll include that backpack with him. That's going to be the whole difference. I think they did it out of just cutting corners, necessity, and everything. So.
It's kind of lame.
It is kind of lame.
I mean, I get it, but
yeah. It's exactly. I mean, they did such a good job with making the rest of these so accurate, and then to do that and be like, but it's not really the 1978 one like is pictured. It's actually the 1982 one. Or it's like, that was kind of goofy for them to do that. So anyway, but that is what it is. The only other criticism I have, and this is the thing that obviously this doesn't matter to those who say, well, I'm just going to open them. But the thing that really bums me out is that I should have kept one of the other ones out, but that's okay. The bubble, here, I'll get the close up here. The bubble, as you could see, that is a thick ass bubble. And that is not retro accurate. And people can say, well, that's okay. These aren't supposed to be the retro, these aren't the originals or whatever. And I would say that was okay, except the figures that came in that first box. If you want to pull one out, I don't remember which side it is I think it's that side. The figures, maybe it's not that side. No, it's one of these sides. Okay. Anyway, the figures that came in the first wave and the first 6, as you can see, are much skinnier. They're more accurate to the vintage line. So, yeah, I'll show you side by side. Watch it, R2. I'll show you side by side.
Oh, wow.
See the big difference there? Look how much flatter. And these are more accurate to how the bubbles were back in the 70s and 80s. And for whatever reason, they decided for the new ones, they're going to do them on these more modern, super thick bubbles. I just don't understand the lack of consistency. Like, why do that? If they would have just done the first set of them in the modern bubbles and been like, well, that's just the way the bubbles are. We're not going to do those skinny ones anymore. I would have been fine. But now, just amongst this, there's like an inconsistency there that really, I just get OCD about that kind of thing, and that bums me out. This could have been an absolute grand slam of a winner of toys, and instead it's just like, it's a home run. It's not a grand slam. Let's put it that way. I'm still super excited about this. Like I said, I look forward to eventually getting another set of these when I can, unless I find somebody that's just going to piece them out, because I'm sure there's a bunch of collectors that are going to buy them and sell them individually, and maybe I'll buy them gradually individually. We'll see. But anyway, was super stoked about that, and love to know what you guys think about these retro collection figures. Like, I know they're very polarizing. People seem to either really dig them or they are just not cool with the whole idea at all.
Oops. Oh, we're losing stuff.
Yeah, that goes in the one box, I think.
The new one, yeah.
Real quick, you want to hand me that guy right there? Yeah, real quick. I know there's a bunch of you that love when we talk about Funko and everything. We did a big Funko episode. The three of us with Matt did a big Funko episode. We're already talking about, we're about ready to do a part 2 to that because we've had a bunch more.
Yeah, we got a lot more.
This one over here got a whole bunch more.
Might have a problem.
You've gone a little crazy. With the Funkos, Meg.
I can't deny it. I did.
Oh, it's Ed. Hey, Larry, it's Ed. I like them. Just real quick before we move on. So, my buddy Ed is talking about. He said, I like them, but can't stand that retro sticker. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the pretty much the popular consensus there. And they're way more affordable than the vintage. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's what I said. I love that the retro collection exists. I know so many people that were not toy collectors, and not that they don't love toys, not that they're not super nostalgic for toys, but they're they just can't afford it. Again, they've got kids, grandkids, whatever, job, constraints, all this kind of stuff, budget constraints. Like, they can't be going out and buying vintage toys anymore, not with where they are nowadays, because they're so ludicrously expensive. I love the fact that these exist for people to have them. I like I said, I know guys that are like, oh, I feel like a kid again, man. I got the original 12. I bought the 2 box sets. I got the original 12. I put them up on a shelf in my office at work, and like when I need a pick me up, I look over at them and I see those and they make me happy. And that's what these toys should be there for. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so, yeah, all the uppity, I'm not going to pretend I'm not an old school uppity curmudgeonly collector at times, because I can be. But generally, as long as it's not something where I feel like people are getting ripped off or, I think there's enough you can tell about these retro figures that, again, if you know what you're looking for, you shouldn't get ripped off with these. So I think they can coexist. Hit or miss to find in the wild, Ed says. Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm hoping they're going to rectify that. And I am kind of bummed that they're making these things like, a Disney Store exclusive and stuff like that. It's like, make these a little bit easier for people to find. Because another thing that I love about this, for me, one of the big things I love about buying these toys is finding them on the store shelves. I get, like, for example, I won't stray too far off topic, but just real quick, when they came out with the Mego 50th anniversary figures of Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Robin, all the, you've seen them and everything. Mm-hmm. When I first saw those, I was like, well, those are cool, but I got like the original ones. I don't know if I really need them. But what got me was when I walked in the store and I saw them hanging on the peg. And it was like, oh, look at it. Like, it just makes me think of being 6 years old again and seeing them on the pegs at Toys R Us or at Ben Franklin or, or at Kresge or wherever, all the places I used to go to. And of course I had to buy them. Because yeah, exactly. But that's part of the allure of this is when you see them on the shelves, that's so much fun. That's the fun of it, and it's fun. I don't have kids, but I know people that do, and they have the fun. It's fun for parents to be able to walk into the aisles and have a shared experience with the kids where they're both pretty equally excited. About stuff, because even though the kids are into stuff that, Fortnite and Minecraft or what all these things, the kids are into and Pokemon and stuff. But a lot of the kids love the Star Wars as well. And they love Ninja Turtles and they love Transformers and all that. So seeing like these kind of retro things that are geared towards us, but it's also kind of fun for the kids too. It's awesome. But anyway, that's kind of what I think happens, especially with Miss Thang over here, when it comes to the Funko Pops, is that while these are not retro-looking figures per se, they're all, most of the time, a lot of it's retro topics and stuff that you can't normally find. I mean, that's why you especially got lured in with the Labyrinth stuff.
Yeah. As soon as I saw Labyrinth, all that, I needed them. I had to hunt them all down.
Yeah.
I paid a pretty penny for it.
Yeah,
but it was
you did.
so worth it.
Yeah, you did.
That's my prized possession right there.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it really is. And we're gonna feature those more in the future for sure. There's so many Star Wars ones out there. I can't get them all, but there are certain characters that I love. And one of the characters that I love, again, because we're on topic of the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, one of the characters that I really love is Princess Leia in her Bouche disguise, the bounty hunter, when she will take 50,000, no less, for the captive Wookiee Chewbacca. And saw this. Jess picked this up for me you could get this at Books A Million. Books A Million has all sorts of really, really good. I know people don't think about Books A Million a lot, but Books A Million has a lot of really, really good Funkos and reaction.
And other toys.
And reaction figures. She just got you those Haunted Mansion reaction figures and stuff.
I was very excited for that.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you're looking for places to find some of that stuff, the Super 7 reaction or Funko Pops, I know Books A Millions aren't everywhere, but for those towns that do have them, don't forget to check Books A Million because they actually get a really good selection. And I've actually been able to get some of the Funko Pops that sold out everywhere else. I found them there.
Okay.
So
can you order from Books A Million online?
Yes. Yeah. Just booksamillion.com. Yeah. You can order from there and you can do local pickup and all that stuff. Always check the clearance section at Books A Million. Yes, exactly. And Kim Gordon says she also picked up that Leia. Isn't it great? Funko usually does a really good job with this, but this figure just looks so good. The detail is great on it. Yeah. I know it's a polarizing thing too. I know some people don't care for the Funko stuff, but look at that. I think that looks great. Yeah, there's certain ones. I can't get all the Star Wars stuff because there's hundreds of them. But there are certain Funko Star Wars ones that I have to get, and this was one that I just absolutely had to have. So yeah, found it at Books A Million. And yeah, Ed's right. Check the markdown section at Books A Million, especially if you're looking for the Super 7 stuff, because they always have. One of the things people complain about when, like, with the Super 7 figures and everything is that, for a 3 3/4 inch figure, it's a little expensive.
A little pricey, yeah.
They're up close to like $20. I just got some of the G.I. Joe ones from Books A Million. They were marked down to $10.
That's more reasonable.
Yeah, half off.
That.
Almost half off, because I think they were regularly $19. So marked down to $10. $10 for that, I'm buying it. So yes, definitely check that out. What else do we got? Oh, I got one more unboxing to do. Speaking of the old Target. Speaking of Target, I've got one more box to do. And this is something, this was speaking of the things where I said I ordered this like a year ago and they were showing up on shelves. And I was like, where is mine? Because I paid for mine a long, long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away?
No, Hammond, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, it finally, just when I was about to go, screw it, I'm going to cancel that order and just see if I could go find it in a store, it showed up. And what I got, and this is because I mentioned earlier, I said we'd come back to it, and we are. I have from The Mandalorian, people remember from the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian. That's how long ago this was. It is one of those Dark Troopers. We talked about it back when we did our Mandalorian season 2 review, that how badass those Dark Troopers were.
Oh yeah, they were amazing.
They could just crush things, and then it was even more badass when Luke showed up and just crushed them, But anyway, so I got this because, again, it's a Dark Trooper and it's vintage collection, and I love the vintage collection. What don't I love? I don't love the fact that even though it's vintage collection, I know it's supposed to be a deluxe. I'm throwing up the quotations now. A deluxe figure because it comes with some extra stuff. I don't love the fact that it is in a solid box. There is no window there. Normally, they would have had it in maybe a box like this, but it still would have been clear plastic, and I could have seen everything. So you have to look at the back. I apologize, folks. I know my close-up camera isn't the greatest, and we're getting glare. But you can see that it comes with his little whatever that is. It's not a coffin thing, but it's like his little thing that he can rest in, and it's got some extra
Energizer bed.
Yeah, exactly. And you could see he's got other pieces there that come with him. So it's a great figure, and I had to have it because I just thought I said earlier, the Dark Troopers and all the troopers I'm a fool for. And vintage collection is next to retro collection now. Vintage collection is my jam, But I am bummed. That it's in the box. It's a nice looking box, at least. They did a good job with this one, but it does bum me out that I can't look at the figure.
It looks like it's a sealed box, is it?
It is, yeah. It's sealed and everything. I'm probably gonna open it because I really want to check this figure out. That's one of the things I love about collecting carded figures is I can check out the figure and I don't have to open it if I don't want to. Or I get doubles, a lot of times and stuff. But this guy's a little more expensive too because he's quote unquote deluxe and everything. So he's more expensive. So I don't think I'm going to be buying 2 of these. So I'm probably just going to open this one up and check them out. And if I do open them up later, folks, again, like I said, it's not like this is the last time we're going to do this, I hope. I will show some of these opened up figures once I have them, So anyway, yeah, that's... I think that's it for the Star Wars. For the Star Wars portion of it.
You're breaking stuff.
Yeah, I'm breaking things. But moving on, I would like to get into the Indiana Jones stuff.
Sure. Do they talk about that too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of why I decided I wanted to... hang on, I'm falling apart over here. Everything's falling apart. Oh my
Let's
gosh.
see how long this stays up here.
Megan's got
I got a tower. I got a Star Wars tower going on.
She's got a tower of Star Wars going on there. Hang on, let me fix this. But anyway, yeah, at Celebration, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, they're different franchises and it's different worlds entirely. But for a lot of us, Indiana Jones and Star Wars do kind of go a little bit hand in hand. I mean, they're both Lucas.
They both got Harrison Ford.
They both have Harrison Ford. They're both from that same time period. They're both done by Hasbro. So they did announce some stuff and some really cool stuff. Plus, we have some new stuff that we are anxious to show off, aren't we?
I do. I got birthday gifts I need to show everybody.
Yeah, well, let's do that first. Show off your stuff first. Yeah, exactly. Let's get into that. All right. So Megan here. So, I mean, we're both Indiana Jones fans, but like it's one of your...
It's like my number one favorite movies ever.
Yeah. Even more than Labyrinth?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So that's, if you knew how much you love Labyrinth and Beetlejuice and stuff, they're like 2 and 3. They're like right up there, I know.
They are, yeah.
But Indiana Jones is her jam. So, yeah. So she is like the Indiana Jones, resident expert, so to speak, kind of.
I don't know about that. I love it.
You're really into it, and you know a lot about it and stuff. And you've read the books and things like that. Didn't you? You read the last movie one, didn't you?
Oh, the Crystal Skull. Yeah, I read that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Which
the book's always better, but
we're gonna have an episode about that later because we just had that conversation too about some other movies. We were talking about the book versions being better and stuff, but we're saving that for a different episode. But anyway, first up, coming here from Hasbro, I
have Indiana Jones. He's with his horse.
Right. This is
He's got the chalice. There's a nasty little snake there.
If you want to.
Put it over here so you guys can actually see it.
See if I can.
Yeah, can you take that?
Yeah, I'll take it.
So.
Yeah, this is from the Worlds of Adventure line. Now, this is obviously something that's supposed to be geared a little bit more towards kids than adult collectors. But that being said, I think
it's awesome.
I think it's awesome.
I'm so excited to see these things and then to get one for my birthday.
Yeah. And I think that these are really cool. And I've seen a lot of collectors, adult collectors saying like, man, these are really, really cool, especially, the adult collectors that are into things like Lego and if they're into things like Playmobil and stuff like that. Because this is sort of like somewhere in between that. It's got a Playmobil vibe, which I love Playmobil stuff. That was one of my favorite things from my childhood. It's got that. It's got a little bit of a Lego-y vibe. And yeah, it comes with a bunch of cool stuff. It's him.
I kind of want to open it.
Open it. You want to open it?
All right.
All right, folks. You want to see her open it? All right.
I don't like this stupid box.
I like the box, but
no, I like the box.
You don't like that you can't see the toy.
I like to see the toy.
Yeah, that's the theme today. All right. Okay.
All right. Oh.
So what are this is probably all the little pieces.
Of the little pieces. So I got
So
Indiana and this horsey.
Yep. Here you go. So there you go. So you can see there's Indiana and the is that his Arabian horse or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's got a name.
Oh, nice. Okay, and then in the you can see up in the corner of the screen they came in like a white baggie there. His satchel. He's got a satchel.
Itty bitty little satchel.
Let's see. So there's a satchel.
He's got his whip.
Nice. So there you go. Got a whip.
He has his little backpack that opens. How cool is that?
That is actually super cool.
I have to store some of his stuff in.
Yep. So there's the backpack.
He's got his teeny tiny little chalice.
That's the cup of a carpenter.
And our nasty snake. I hate snakes.
Yeah, that's one thing you have in common.
Why did it have to be snakes?
It's one thing she has in common with Indiana Jones is that you do not like snakes.
So I think it's super cute. I love it.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, do you think maybe like later because you're still in the process of getting things
Settling
set up
in.
and
Yeah, I think I'll have a whole section set up where I can light it up properly and display them.
display them and
properly,
everything.
yeah.
Maybe still keep the box though.
Yeah, maybe I'll put it behind them or something.
Yeah, that's actually a cool idea.
So
Awesome.
Put all this stuff back before I lose it all. But yeah, this is super cute.
And what's nice about it too is I believe so. This was a Target thing. All the Indiana Jones stuff seems to be Target, unfortunately. But this was retail. This was $9.99. Now I know it's small. You know, it's not like it's a big set. But even anybody knows nowadays, even buying little small things anymore is expensive. So the fact that you're getting a pretty fun little set here for under $10, that's pretty cool, man. So, and then they've got like somewhat bigger, more deluxe ones. Hey, there you go. What's going on? We got Cracktastic Plastic in the house. And so what's cool too is awesome to see you, Jason. Yeah, we're going to be talking more soon, aren't we? We'll get into that in a little bit. What's cool is they've got some other like bigger like deluxe sets and stuff where he comes with like the motorcycle and the sidecar and all this other stuff.
Yes, it shows them on the side here with the.
Does it?
Shows some chick on a bike anyway, but.
Oh, okay. Well, some of that is from the new movie coming out and from Dial of Destiny and everything. Yeah, it's just some artist rendering stuff. But even that, like I saw that, and that ended up only being, I think that was like $15.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly.
Go get me some of that.
I keep banging into this thing.
Put this in away from the microphone so it's not so loud and obnoxious. It's not working very well, but I'm trying, guys. I'm trying here.
So anyway, yeah, so if you're into that kind of stuff or if you've got kids that might be into that stuff, something you want to collect together, if you're a Raiders fan, an Indiana Jones fan or whatever, like those are really cool. And the fact that they're so cheap, it's like it's one of those kind of things where normally I might look at it and be like, oh, you know, I've already collect all these other things. I can't be bothered, you know, spending on that stuff. But for the amount of money, I'm like,
maybe. Yeah, I definitely want the rest of those.
Yeah,
they're super cute.
Exactly. And then while we're at it, let's talk about because they just recently came out with. Now we're moving away from Hasbro and we're getting into Lego here.
Okay.
They just recently announced, well, I shouldn't say they announced. They announced it a while ago, but they confirmed that finally at last new Lego Indiana Jones playsets were coming out. There was a lot of back and forth. There was ones that had been announced, and then I guess they announced that maybe they weren't going to release it and stuff like that. There was supposed to be a Temple of Doom one, I think, that now they've canceled, and people were going, okay, are these things coming out? Are they not coming out? Because the original Lego ones that came out a while back, because they came out with like I think they had Lego sets. Maybe Jason or any of you guys, if you might remember what they came out with. I think they came out with like a flying wing set. They came out with a few different really cool Indiana Jones sets, and they are going for hundreds and hundreds of dollars now. They're very hard to get, especially for a good price. It's really expensive. So people were very stoked when they announced they were coming out with new sets. And I think, to my knowledge, there may be more, but I think they have now released 3 sets. And Megan has...
I have 2.
2 of them.
I have 2 of them.
So you want to show them off?
Yep. So I got the Indiana Jones, and it has the plane.
So this is Last Crusade.
Mm-hmm. And their car that they go escaping in.
Yeah, so it's got Indy and his father.
Oh, I'll get it over there.
Yeah. So there you go.
How cute is that? I can't wait to open this up.
Yeah.
I would do it now, but I'm afraid it's going to be like
That's a lot of
little pieces.
No, yeah, we may be doing more we may be doing more.
We may have to film ourselves trying to put this thing together.
Yeah, I mean we don't have the time. This is already going long. We don't have the time.
No,
to
not
be
tonight, but maybe
opening
another
everything.
night we'll film it and then put something together.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to sit here and watch us curse this thing out as we try to put it together.
Or maybe we'll do a live stream where we just put cameras on us while we put it together and we just talk.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, but if people want to see that, we might do that. But yeah, so that kind of gives you an idea of what you get in there. These literally just came out. These just hit the shelves. And it's 387 pieces on this one. And it's got Indy and Professor Henry Jones. And it's got the German fighter pilot that goes in the plane. That is...
And it wasn't that expensive. I think it was like $35.
Yeah,
something
maybe.
like that. I
maybe.
mean, for Lego, I thought that was super cheap. And then you were talking about how expensive the other ones went for. I was like, I'm getting it.
Right.
I want it. I want to put it together. I want to play with it.
Yeah, no,
I want it.
I think it's great, and it comes with a lot, especially this one. I mean, for under $40,
two vehicles and 3 figures.
Right? For under $40, I feel like. I mean, it's still a lot of money, in general, but for Lego, I feel like that's a really, really good deal.
Yeah.
But you're not done.
I'm
That's not the last one. Oops. So we'll move this over here. And then you got a big Mama Jama there.
I got a big boy. I think he was just under $40.
Yeah.
So this looks like the set with all the snakes.
Yeah.
Where they knock down the one dude.
Right, yeah. This is like the, I don't know what they call it. The Escape from
temple.
the Lost Tomb.
Yeah, the tomb.
And it comes with Marion Ravenwood, Indiana Jones, Sala, and a mummy.
And a mummy.
And,
perfect for Mummy's Day.
Wow. Leave it to you.
Yeah, but look at this set. It is so cute. It's got the ark in it.
Yeah. Look at that, man. That is a great set.
And again, under $40 for it. With the 4 figures in that huge set. I couldn't pass it up.
Right, yeah. Now this one is 600 pieces. So you can see it comes with a lot.
And it's got some more stupid snakes.
More snakes. Well, the snakes were down there.
Hopefully it has the one where it's like...
The cobra?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can have Sala up at the top of the...
Yeah.
Sala, throw down the rope. Only to be foiled by Belloc. Yep, stupid Belloc. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this one to break this open and put it together and see it in real life.
Yep, there we go. Sorry, it's hard to fit it on here. But yeah, so those were the 2 sets. And then so they're kind of like in 3 tiers. So obviously again, I don't think the fighter plane chase, they're calling it. The fighter plane chase one is like the more affordable one. This is the slightly more expensive one, the sort of intermediate one. And then what?
The plane's wings come off when he gets stuck.
Just like in
the tunnel, the train tunnel. That's hilarious. Sorry, I just now noticed that. He even has guns. He shoots.
Yep.
He shoots little pellets, guys. I'm so
She's
excited.
very excited about these, as you can see. But there is
what's the third one that I
there's
still
a
need?
third one. It's a deluxe one. And so it is this guy here. That is a super cool one. And that's basically, I'm trying to remember what it's called now. Is it the Lost City one? It's the same from the beginning of Raiders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'll show you. Like for example, you can recreate things like Indy trying to replace, because it comes with the stand with
gosh, I need that
with the fertility statue and everything. Yeah. Well,
how much is that one?
I was gonna say that one's gonna cost you probably upwards of like $150.
Oh damn!
So that might be like a Christmas present or something.
Yeah, anybody want to get a GoFundMe page going for me so I can get this thing?
There you go. See?
Oh my gosh, I need that.
Go be a patron. Go to our Patreon, because we do have a Patreon. Go be a patron and donate money so that Megan can get her Indiana Jones. We're just kidding. Although we would love it if you'd
be a patron, but
not so we can buy toys with it. No, we need to just pay for all this stuff all the equipment and all those things. They cost money, but it's all right. We do it for the love. We love doing this. So, but anyway, yeah, they're coming out with this other set. I believe that as well as obviously you can get these, but that third set you can get as well. I know it's available from Target, from Meijer, different places. I saw it online, but it is pricey. So if you're interested in that one, you might have to save up for it. But
he's got a little thing so he actually falls down. You can make him fall with Indy on top of him. Yep. This is so fucking cool.
Yeah, these are fun. And like I said, and for this, even if you can't afford that Lost City one, just to get this this play set, you could get it for under $40, man. And that's at least a night's worth of fun, putting that together and playing with it. So, yeah.
The snakes come out of the holes. Oh my gosh, it's so creepy. I love it. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. This is why I said I wanted you to do a toyetic with me, because I'm like, you're always like, I don't know what to talk about. I'm like, oh, now you do, because you're
an Indiana Jones toy.
Yeah,
with a cool bunch of features. Oh my god, I really want to play with this now.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, like I said, maybe we'll make a video out of it and stuff. And is that it that we have for unboxing? I think it is. Yeah, I think that's it for unboxing. However, before we go, I said that there was reveals of things, and I do have. Where's my guys that I brought? We don't need that guy, but because I was talking earlier about retro collection and stuff. They just recently put out, I think, when did these finally start hitting the shelves? Probably back in around March, April. They started coming out at last with the retro collection Indiana Jones figures. There we have the German jerk tote. We have the German mechanic. We have Belloc in his ceremonial robes, otherwise, as Sala referred to him, he is Baloche. And what's cool about the ceremonial, now these are all reproductions, right? Just like those Star Wars figures I showed earlier. These are reproductions of the originals from 1982. But what's kind of cool to me about this, because I absolutely loved this line of figures when I was a kid. What's cool about it is Belloc was a mail-away figure. He never came on a card, although there are prototype examples out there, like salesman examples that are now probably worth $15,000 or something like that. So getting him finally on that card is really, really cool. Jason, you like those? Yeah, I love these. And these especially, man, again, I won't go on and on about it, but for the people that are on the fence about reproductions and retro collection and all that stuff, I'm sorry, but these figures are so hard to get, the original ones, especially packaged. It's almost impossible unless you're like rich Uncle Moneybags, you know what I mean? You just cannot afford them. And so it was great. It was great that they put these out. And then I have, of course, Indy, the Indiana Jones figure. And last but not least, one that a lot of people are excited about because this figure is so elusive. Again, virtually impossible to find an original. So people that are worried this is going to hurt the value of the original. No, it's not, because there's so few of the originals out there. Nobody can. You're either going to be rich and be able to afford it, or you're not. So they came out with Marion Ravenwood. I don't think I had Marion Ravenwood when I was a kid. I would have gladly bought her, but I don't remember ever being able to find her when I was a kid, which was a bummer. I had the little Marion figure in the barrel that came with the Streets of Cairo playset.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was my only Marion figure. So, yeah, they recently came out with these. Oh, we got some comments on it. Ed says, those ran out as soon as they hit the shelves where I live. Had to drive 2 hours to a Target in a rural area. They had everyone but Indy. Yeah, Indy, I have not seen Indy on the shelves anywhere. I ordered mine from Hasbro. So that's why I got Indy. Otherwise, I would not have I'd still be looking for him. So thankfully I pre-ordered him. I have seen the other ones. I've seen the other 4 on the shelves, although never at the same time. I've only seen Belloc in the ceremonial robe. I've only seen him one time on the shelves since these came out weeks ago. So yeah, good luck if you're out there trying to find them. You can get these, but if you're trying to find them out in the wild and everything, good luck getting a complete set.
Well, thank you for getting those for me. I really appreciate that.
Hey, do you want those? I mean, are you interested in these? Is that a stupid question that I just asked?
More dumb questions you want to ask me?
Well, you know, you don't necessarily want everything that comes out, but yeah.
These are really cool.
Yeah, and they're not expensive. That's the other thing is that, like, I mean, like this, I saw this the other day. I saw Marion at Target just a couple of days ago, and she was $10. Yeah.
Yeah, I need these.
Yeah, $10 for this. I mean, that's fine.
Look at this beady-eyed fuck. That guy's
I
crazy.
hate Tote. I was so glad to see him melt.
I guess it's his glasses that's making him look beady-eyed.
Well, he had that look to him, you know. But Marion was hard to find when I was a kid. Ed says, yeah, exactly. I think that's why she's so scarce now. I'm trying to think if I've ever personally known. I've seen people online. Out of all the collectors that I know, I don't know if I know anybody personally who has a carded Marion figure. I know people who have a loose, you know, beat up one or whatever, but I don't know if I've ever known anybody personally. I'll bet you there are maybe at best 100 or something, or a couple hundred that are known to circulate in the world. If that. That might be like being generous.
Wow.
Because if you find a vintage carded Marion, even ungraded, you're going to spend several $1,000s on it and stuff. Are you trying to soak my toys in tea?
I'm spilling stuff everywhere. We're done.
Yep. And you're double fired.
This is why you don't have...
You got fired earlier, now you're super fired. No, it's okay. Oh, okay. And then Jason asked, will you open them or leave them on the card? Honestly, I really, really want to open these because I loved these. Again, I had all of these Raiders figures when they came out back in '82. I had them. I had all the play sets, the map room play set, the Arabian horse. I had every single thing. The only thing I didn't have was that Marion. So I would very much like to get all of these and open them and display them. And to be honest with you, I just, you know, right now there's so much stuff. I can't just spend every dime I have on toys. But if I am able to, and I can get a second set, especially if they're only, $10 a figure and stuff like that. Yeah. I will definitely open them. I have 2 indies, actually. I ordered 2 indies. So the second indie is for opening. So that one will definitely get opened. Unless Meg takes it.
I was going to say, you mean as mine?
Well, that's the next thing I was just going to say. And then if I go and buy another set, I'm going to feel bad if you're like, I still need them. I'm like, take them.
There you go.
But getting back to the reason I showed those, because I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, those have been out. I already got them. But the reason I wanted to show those is that one of the things they did just announce is that they are coming out with Series 2 of the Retro Collection Indiana Jones figures. I am very excited to talk about them. There they are. You should see them on the screen there. So we've got Short Round. So we're going to get, for the first time ever, we're going to get retro indie figures from the second movie because they only did Raiders back in the day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. There was another company, I think LJN. Somebody correct me on that if it wasn't. I think LJN, moving things.
I'm moving it before I do something else.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. LJN, I think, did Temple of Doom figures, and it was a very, very small line. I think it was like 4 figures or something like that. And those are pretty hard to find. And they were cool, but I didn't like them as much as the Kenner stuff. So it's really cool that we're getting Kenner style figures. So we're getting a Temple of Doom indie there. We're going to get a Temple of Doom Short Round. We're getting We're getting a Sala from The Last Crusade with his little fez. We're getting a Dr. Henry Jones from Last Crusade. So again, we never had Last Crusade vintage figures like that. And Last Crusade was like, there was like no merchandising for that movie when it came out. They didn't come out with like anything for that. I don't think there was any. Again, somebody correct me, but I don't believe there were any toys or vehicles or anything that came out back in the day. Now, they did come out with some later, like with that other line you've collected of the Indiana Jones stuff, the 5-inch figures from 2008 and stuff. They did come out with some then. But vintage, no. So these are the first vintage ones. And then there's like a really cool retro one that is coming out that is supposed to be an Amazon exclusive. And that one is from Last Crusade, where he's got the tie on and the buttoned up shirt, and he comes with the cup, the chalice, like your set did and everything. This is an Amazon exclusive, and it is currently available for pre-order. Yeah, I was just going to say. Yeah, it is currently available for pre-order. So I honestly, I think this is going to sell out. I highly encourage you to order it. You can get it, supposedly you could get it through Pulse, you could get it through Amazon, and then it might be available through other fan channels and stuff. I went today on Amazon and I ordered this, and it was a little more. It wasn't $10. I think it was like $14.99. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Still $15, whatever. But yeah, this is currently available for pre-order. And I thought they said that this is supposed to be released first week of June. Okay. So it shouldn't be, again, knock on wood, as long as there isn't some holdup, it shouldn't be long before you get it. Are you finding it?
No, I found that set for $150. Oh,
the Lego set? Yeah, you need to probably forget about that one for a while. She's like, no, you got 2 more to play with in the meantime. So
I don't see what I don't know what you're driving at here.
Anyway, that figure and those are currently available for pre-order. I know some people have already been getting those retro Series 2 figures. I think they were already have made available overseas in some places, though they have not, to my knowledge, hit the Target shelves here yet. But I'd keep your eyes and ears open for them. Moving on, one last thing I want to talk about is that in addition to premiering the retro collection this year for Indiana Jones, they also came out with their own version of what's basically like the G.I. Joe Classified or the Star Wars Black Series. They came out with what they're calling the Adventure Series. So these are 6-inch, roughly around 6-inch, hyper-articulated, amazingly sculpted figures from all of the movies and stuff. I currently have, I didn't bring them with me. I should have. I only bought 2 because, again, they were in those stupid solid boxes. But I couldn't pass it up. I got Indiana Jones and Tote. So I got 2 from Raiders. I know they got, well, we saw when we went to C2E2, I remember we saw at the booth somebody had Marion in the red and white outfit and everything. And so I saw those. I ended up not getting them because, again, I was just like, these boxes, and they're a little expensive. But they are super well done figures. So I wanted to mention, though, because I know people are very into these, they announced Series 2. And they've got some really cool characters, especially because the main crux of them is from Temple of Doom. So you've got Indy with the sleeves cut off and the satchel with the stones, and then you've got the possessed Indy when he's possessed, when Mola Ram does the whole thing with him doing the ritual, and he's possessed for a little while, and you think he's going to kill Short Round, but of course he doesn't. He can't kill Short Round. Speaking of, then you've got Short Round in there, and you've got and then who else was in? Oh, and then you've got some figures from the new movie. You've got the female, I forget, what's her name? Is it Helena Shaw? Something like that. You've got the old Indy. You've got all them. And then they have, each one of those figures comes with a piece that you can put together so that you can build the stone thing,
Okay.
and you put the stone skull face, and you put the red stones in there, just like that scene from Temple of Doom. Pretty cool.
Does it glow?
I'm not sure if it
I
glows.
think it does because they're glow in the dark paint.
Oh,
glows in the dark.
that's super cool then. See, damn it, this is going to make me want to buy these things. Anyway, yeah, so those are going to be available, I think, pretty soon. I don't know if the pre-sales are up yet for it, but again, my suggestion is check out Hasbro Pulse first and check out Target. Those should be available. If they're not currently available, they're going to be available very soon. In addition to that, they also announced that they're coming out with some deluxe sets. So you're going to be able to get this deluxe temple set where it's Indy again removing the fertility god statue head from the stone and everything. That is awesome. It's going to obviously be a little more expensive because it's in a big deluxe box and it comes with that stone thing. I don't know. I wanted to see. Does the thing sink? Because how when he puts the bags on there and the stone like sinks down. I wonder if it sinks.
The thing, and I do believe it does sink.
That's awesome. Yeah, if it has that action feature, that is super, super cool. So that's another thing that's going to be, if it's not currently by the time you're watching or listening to this, it's going to be up for order soon. And then they also are coming out with a Marcus Brody and Renee Belloc 2-pack. A couple of old guys in suits. Isn't that exciting?
It is exciting if you're an indie fan.
I was just going to say, it's exciting to some of us. I'm sure there's kids that are going to walk down an aisle and see that at Target and be like, why? Who wants that? Why would I buy a 2-pack of my uncle and my grandpa, But for those, that's pretty cool that we're getting a Marcus Brody. That's pretty funny. And then you get Belloc, that jerk. But anyway, so they're coming out with that. That's another one that's going to be available for order. And then last but not least, the last of the pipeline releases, which means this is stuff that they don't have production models of yet, and they're not available to order yet, but just letting people know that they're coming. They announced They announced Series 3 of the Adventure Series, and that's going to be largely focused on Last Crusade. So we're going to get Indy from Last Crusade. We're going to get a Templar Knight.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool, And you better buy that one, otherwise you have chosen poorly. You're going to get Dr. Henry Jones and Ilsa. They're going to make an Ilsa figure, so that's pretty cool. And then there's going to be Mads Mikkelsen's character and Antonio Banderas's character from the new Indy movie.
Nice.
So they're kind of peppering the new characters, and instead of just doing like a whole line of all new characters, they're going, maybe we want to just put a couple of them in there,
Yeah.
Because they don't know how people are going to feel about it, especially if you go by the last Indiana Jones movie. Yeah, the less we say about that one,
probably the better.
The better, It had good moments to it, but anyway, so that pretty much wraps it up, man. I'm curious to know from any of you out there, any of these like pipeline ones they revealed for Star Wars or Indy, or like stuff that we announced is like for pre-order. Any of you guys and gals and everybody else out there, any of you planning on pre-ordering any of those toys? Do any of them really, rev your engine, or are they all sort of like wait and sees, maybe? Like, I'll wait to see once they actually hit the shelves and see how I feel about it. Or do they just not interest you? And is there something that you would rather see coming out from Star Wars or Indiana Jones? I'd love to know, because that's what we're here for, is to discuss that stuff. Now, what about you, Meg? Is there anything you would like to see?
I want to see that other Lego in my possession.
Well,
I would like to see more Lego things like that.
Yeah.
Because those are so cool, and they're affordable, because I would never look at Legos because they're stupid expensive. I thought that would be like $70-$50.
Yeah.
Those ones I got.
70-50 specifically?
70-50, yeah. 170, 150. But I couldn't believe how cheap they were.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
So I would love to see more things like that. That way I can play with it and literally then play with it and do all this interactive stuff.
And they're still collectible, you know.
Yeah, and then I can display it somewhere really nice.
Right.
So
yeah.
I would love to see more things like that.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I know speaking for me, when it comes to Indiana Jones stuff, I'm sure it's a pipe dream. But what I would really love is I would love to see them re-release at least one of the retro play sets from 1982. Because as I love the figures, these figures are great, but what got me so excited when I was a kid when these toys came out was those play sets. I loved the map room play set, being able to take Indy. It even came with the staff of Ra with the stone, and you could shine a light through it, and with the amulet thing on the top, and it had the thing. I don't think it would be. I mean, they're not that big. I don't think they would be that hard for them to replicate. And again, even if they want to make it an Amazon exclusive or a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, fine. I'm fine with that. But man, please do at least one or two of these play sets. I'd love to see them come out with the German truck with the that they dragged Indy and everything. That was a great toy, man. It even came with like a long winch thing that you could have Indy hang on to. And as you drove the truck, it made the rope like go closer. So it was like Indy getting closer. You know how he was under the truck and everything in that scene? You could reenact that. It was a great toy. I don't know what the likelihood is that they would redo that, but I think there's a market for it.
Absolutely. I think that's why I like... I'm breaking everything tonight.
Good Lord.
These Lego sets, because it's more like that. It's a whole play set that I can play with, not just a figure.
Right.
So, yeah, I would be all in with that for sure.
Exactly. And I guess it's going to, it'll remain to be seen. I think that if these toys are successful on the market and they make a lot of money, I think that, and if the new Indiana Jones movie comes out and it does really well, I think
we'll see more.
We might see more of that. I think it's a good sign that they're already announcing Retro Collection Series 2. But yeah, that would be my dream if they came out with, because those vintage ones, again, the Well of Souls, the Map Room and the Streets of Cairo playset with the Monkey Man came with the Monkey Man figure and all that stuff, and the Marion and the basket and all that. Those were what I really, really cherished, and I wish I had them because they are stupidly expensive now. If you can even find them, they're if you do an eBay search for them, you're not going to find more than maybe a handful of them for sale, if that. So there is a market, even amongst, like, again, vintage collectors. There's so many vintage collectors that would be like, you know what? I don't care for much for all these repros, but this stuff that's like impossible for us to get, do it. I'll buy that. Yeah.
Wow.
I think they'd make a lot of money off of it. I get feedback in the comments here. So Jason says, I think it's all pretty amazing, especially the retros, but they make too many Transformers. I can't deviate too much. Yeah, you are a Transformer nut, man. You are a dedicated Transformer guy. And see, like, I'm the opposite. I like dabble in Transformers, We'll talk about that soon. I'm going to be appearing, hopefully soon, on an episode of Jason's show on the Cracktastic Plastic channel. We got to work out those details, and then hopefully after that, in Turnabout's Fair Play, we really want to have Jason on here to talk toys with the both of us, because I'm sure I know he's got a lot of things in common with you and I both, and Matt, and he's got a lot of similar interests.
You two loose. To be a long night.
Oh, I know. Well, that's what we're going to need you there for.
Wealth of information. I can only
imagine. You're going to be like, reel it in, Larry. Just reel it in. Ed says, that would be killer if they remade those sets. Saw one unopened at MegaCon for $700. Honestly, unopened for $700, that's not a bad price. I can't afford it. I would never pay it, but that's not a bad price. As I've seen them, especially, anything that's graded goes up like 3 or 4 fold. But I've seen the Map Room play set Man, I've seen that thing go for as much as like $2,000, you know. I know it's ridiculous, but it's because they're pretty scarce. They were made for a very brief period of time back in like 82, 83. That's it. And they weren't excessively popular. So not a lot of people bought them. A lot of them got liquidated, you know, and kids like me, like I opened those up. I played with them, had a lot of little pieces you lost and everything. So even finding them loose and complete is really, really difficult. So keep making them, man. Please keep making them. But anyway, yeah, I think on that note, I know this has been a pretty long episode, but we haven't done one in a while. So
no, we covered a lot of ground.
And it's been a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun to talk about this stuff.
When I'm not destroying things.
Yeah, when you're not knocking things over, spilling things. I'm knocking. It's just that night. You know, I'm knocking my mic stand over and everything, and it's the way it goes. But yes, like I said, hopefully soon I'll have more news, more toy stuff to talk about here on this channel, as well as hopefully maybe over on Jason's channel. We've been talking about, again, doing more Funko stuff. We've got other topics of things that we haven't even touched on, games and various things that we've been, and we're really going to start trying to, and I'd love to get the feedback from you guys, from all of you, what you think about this, because we'd like to, Toyetic has always been sort of an occasional thing, but I have a lot of fun with it. I think you have fun with it, especially you've got, like you said, you've got more into things that you can talk about and show now, and I need you there to reel me in. So I think we're going to start making Toyetic a little bit more of a regular feature, and then we'll have Matt on when he's available, have people like Jason on. Ed, man, if you want to, you know, get on the cam and be in an episode sometime, Ed, I'd love to have you. You know a lot about toys. You are steeped in this stuff and then some and everything. Ed, love to have you on. Other friends I know, our friend Eric Kiki would love to come on and talk about vintage Star Wars and Tron. And yeah, I think we're going to start reaching out and doing that, because that's the fun part of doing this. You know, it's the interaction.
Talk about everybody, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but first, next week.
Oh.
Next week, same time, same place. We got more Star Wars stuff coming your way.
Yeah, as long as Matt doesn't back out.
Yeah, Matt should be here. As of right now, he will be here with us.
If he can't make it, then we'll just have to
be us and you guys.
Yeah, and we'll ask you guys to participate. But we're going to do, I believe it's going to be a top 5.
It is a top 5.
Yeah, we haven't done it. How long has it been, folks, since we've done one of our top 5 shows, man? So we're going to do a top 5, and it's Star Wars centric.
It is.
But we're not going to tell you exactly what yet.
Nope.
We'll let you ruminate on that.
Yeah, simmer on that for a little while.
Exactly.
Like, what could they be doing? Is it a top 5 movies?
Top 5 characters. It could be it could be all kinds of things. Top 5 spin-offs, top 5 comics, top 5 toys. Well, probably not toys, because we just talked about toys.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see you next week.
We'll let you know next week. But yeah, it'll be hopefully, again, barring anything unforeseen, it should be next Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday evening. So if you want to talk Star Wars with us, we would love to have you all here with us chatting as you did. Thanks to everybody that checked this out live and commented in the live stream chat. For those that are watching or listening to this later, by all means, leave comments below, and we always check our comments. And join us if you use Facebook. Join us at Facebook. We have a group in there. In addition, we have a Geeking Poetic page, but we also have a group called the Geeking Squad.
Yes.
And as long as you're not a jerk, we don't talk about jerky stuff there. We just talk about toys and comics and movies and music and all the fun stuff. Our point of it is to go back to being like you're 13, again, or even younger or whatever. And we just like to talk about stuff, and we have silly memes in there and polls and all sorts
of fun stuff.
It's a lot of fun stuff.
And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Trying to get people to subscribe to a YouTube channel. Who knew it was so difficult? We've been doing this. This month has been our 5-year anniversary, which is another reason it's fitting we're going to do a top 5. next week. But it's our 5-year anniversary, and it has been a struggle getting people to just subscribe. So please subscribe. The more people subscribe, the more we're able to do stuff, and the more it empowers us to...
The better it gets.
Yeah, it just gets better. Yeah, ish. The better-ish it gets. Yeah, so anyway. All right, everybody. Thanks.
We'll see you next week.
We will see you very soon. Bye-bye.